Welcome again to a Shortstop with a Shortstop. Today I want to talk to you about a motto that Johnnie LeMaster has and has tried to follow all of his life, and that's, let's make something good come out of something bad.
And the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall arise, no more sorrows someday.
We have the virus that's going on here in the United States right now and around the world. And I see where things can happen that can be good, that can come out of this. I'm always looking for something that we can do to be positive. When I played baseball professionally for several years, and when I coached baseball at the University of Pikeville for several years, when a kid made an error, I would always try to be the first one to him because I was his head coach. I'd tell him, it's okay. Just try to learn from it. Make something good come out of making an error. And if you do that, you're going to become a better ball player. And when I played professionally, whenever one of my teammates made an error or something like that, I always wanted to be the first one to say, so I'd say, hey, it's okay. We're going to turn a double play here on this next guy. And it will make them feel better, but hopefully they learn something from it, become a better player from it also. I got booed pretty regularly at one time. But I put on I had a jersey made up with boo on the back of it and wore it for a half an inning, but lo and behold, something good came out of it. The press enjoyed it, the fans enjoyed it, and it got everybody off my back. But something good came out of it. And I look at Pete Rose, I look at Mark Maguire, I look at Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, Roger Clemens. All these guys have got some statistics that are just out of this world, but they're not in the Hall of Fame. And Pete Rose bet on baseball. Did anything good come out of that? I think so. I think the other guys that are playing are not going to bet on baseball because they know it's going to keep them out of the Hall of Fame, but also it's going to keep them out of baseball, period. Then you have Mark Maguire. Mark was my roommate when I played with the Oakland A's. And his first year that he played, he hit 39 home runs, but he didn't even play the whole month of April. He started playing the first day of May. But I can attest to you, he was not on steroid. He was taking creatine and different things of that nature. But something good has come out of that. And what is it? Some of the other guys that are playing know that they're going to get suspended or kicked completely out of baseball if they get on steroids. So something good came out of it. But I look at Hebrews chapter 11, and there's a Hall of Fame there. We call it the Hall of Faith. But what I want you to look at here is starting in Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 36, and it said, and others experienced mockings, scourging, yes, also chains and imprisonments. They were stoned. They were sawed in two. They were tempted. They were put to death with the sword. They went in sheepskins and goatskins, being destitute, afflicted, and ill-treated. Men of whom the world was not worthy. Oh my. That comes out of the Bible. People that the world was not even worthy of. And it said wandering in deserts and mountains and caves. Now listen to this. And holes in the ground. It doesn't say who these people were. But I think something good come out of that. That we can see that those people were afflicted so much that no matter what we go through, we can make something good come out of it. We have the virus going on right now here in the United States and across the world. How can we make something good come out of this virus? Well, let's look at social media. Let's say Jesus had a Twitter account. And one of the first, well, there's no doubt that he would have more followers than anybody else. There's no doubt about that. But what if he put out a tweet and said, meet me on the mountain, hashtag fish and bread for everybody. Hey, but that would be a tweet. He would be doing something positive. Something good would come out of that. Now, something bad could come out of it also if he was to put something like, he put a tweet out that said, but Judas is no longer in the conversation. That wouldn't be good. But what can we do with our social media to make it positive and something good come out of it? We can wish people happy birthdays. We can wish people happy anniversaries. We can put Bible verses on there. Oh, and yeah, you can do a podcast. But we can do something to make something bad, make something good come out of it. If we look at the Apostle Paul, it says he was shipwrecked, he was beaten 3 times with 39 stripes, he was beaten with a reed, he was shipwrecked, he was out in the ocean for a day and a night. He went through all these kinds of things, but yet he helped start congregations. He made something good come out of all this. He did 3 missionary journeys, and he went back and visited some of these congregations. But what type of influence do you think he would have had on those members? Them knowing that all the persecution that he had gone through, but yet he still remained strong in Christ. That's going to have a huge impact. That's the type of impact that we want to have. We can make something good come out of something bad. What about our kids, parents? In Deuteronomy chapter 11, verses 18 through 21, it says, you shall teach your children, talking to them when you sit down in the house, when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you rise up. You shall write them on your doorpost of your house and on your gates, so that your days and the days of your children will be multiplied on the land which the Lord has swore to your fathers to give to them, as long as the heavens remain above the earth. Although we have a virus going on right now, we can teach we got a lot of time, a lot of good time that we can utilize having a Bible study. We can teach them to memorize verses. We can have story time with them, depending on what age they are. But what type of influence and what type of memories are we creating? Because our children are going to do almost exactly what we do. And when they grow up and get married and have kids, they're going to have Bible study and story time with their kids. And that will be something very, very positive that will come out of this virus. Elders of the Church of Christ, here in the United States and all across the world, we need to make something positive come out of this virus. We don't need to be arguing on whether we wear a mask or whether we don't have service. You need to do what's best for your congregation and try to make it multiply as much as you possibly can. We don't need to argue about these things. We need to make something good come out of this virus the best way that we possibly can. And my motto is always going to be, let's make something good come out of something bad that has happened. Thank you again for being with a Shortstop with a Shortstop.